Hello, and welcome once again to another episode of Third Action. I'm your lovely host, Jason, and these are the same three turkeys that were here, well, a couple weeks ago now. Sorry about that. In the bottom left, who I believe is still eating their dinner, is Char playing Regan Belladonna, Academy Wizard.
Yes, I'm AFK so you don't see me shove an entire onion that Chipotle gave me in my bowl into my face, so I've saved you
Did
all.
she give you like a full onion?
It's like, there's a lot of onion in here, but I love onions, so I mean, it would just
works.
be gross to everyone else.
In the bottom middle, we have Tullios Couldarn, a martial fighter, played by Will.
Gobble gobble, I guess. I don't know. I got nothing this week, okay? Been a weekend.
And in the bottom right, we have Felix Milos, Maestro Bard, played by Alex.
Gobble quack bok? That creature you showed earlier was terrifying.
My turducken.
Oh yeah, show the class.
If it will
You were showing us before stream.
do appropriately.
Yeah, little turducken miniature. Is that on like a little
still.
wood pedestal?
Yes. I wanted to get into miniature painting. Janelle helped me get some stuff for doing so. There's a little pedestal, and they have interchangeable.
Oh, that's cool.
So.
Oh, that's sick.
That's how I can do Phelan on his own. one.
I've always wanted to get into mini painting. I don't feel like I have the hands that are steady enough for it, but I'd like to try it more. I've done a little bit at conventions, but
this little thing helps to kind of steady stuff. You can lean the paintbrush against it to help steady
that's
your
kind
hand.
of cool.
Oh boy,
I like it.
My hand is wild.
maybe a new hobby will open. I have so many miniatures, you guys, you don't even know. I collect them, but I do not use them for anything because I only play online. Whee. But anyway, hello. Sorry, it's been a couple weeks. Things happened, as you may well know. But 2 weeks ago, it was like chewing a Laffy Taffy and fucked up my jaw. That was fun. That was like right before the show. And then last week, I totally forgot was Thanksgiving, so we were gone for that week too. And now we're here. We're back. And I think we're here for like a couple weeks. I forget how many weeks we're here for.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
A number.
As long as we keep you away from the Laffy Taffy.
Yes. Yeah, no more Laffy Taffy. It was a Halloween leftover that I should have thrown out, and I have now. They're all gone.
Lessons learned.
But I dared to touch it, and it I crit failed my my fortitude save there. But in any case, hello everyone. Last time on Third Action. Which one do I want? This one. Last time on Third Action. I'll do a couple episodes worth because it's been a little bit, but the party has been investigating a mysterious outbreak that has come over the city of Korvosa. It's currently being called the Blood Veil. It seems to be some form of deadly pox that outbreaks all over the body, but in particular concentrates around the kind of forehead. And as the lesions pop, you kind of get like a flood of blood over the face, which vaguely resembles a veil. So it sort of inspired the name in recent days. It has been spreading faster than the clergy of the town can cure it, and no one knows what's caused it. At first, it seemed like maybe it was brought here by a mysterious boat, the Direption, which was sunk in the bay of Korvosa. But the party investigated that and turned up, well, it seems like it was some kind of diversion from whatever the true cause of the disease was. You helped out a family who was some of the earliest patients of the disease, and you've brought them into the Script and Scrimshaw to stay in a sort of semi-lockdown while the city, the plague rages on in the city. You've contracted Devargo, the Spider of Eel's End, to assist in some information gathering around. You've came up with the name Andaisen, as well as the faith of Urgathoa as being somehow related to the Direption and its presence in the harbor. And so you were hoping to see if there were any connections to that. Has this Andaisen person been in the city? So far it's turned up nothing, but you've asked Devargo to look into it. And that'll be in a couple days. I believe he said the Oath Day of this week, and it's currently Noonday. Is when he'd talk to you about whatever he finds. We've also been dealing with the were-rat issue. The people getting antsy in their assumptions of what's been causing the plague have assumed that it was the fault of the rat folk. Or not rat folk, I'm confusing myself. The were-rats of the city, who were sort of more of an urban legend, but turned out to be real. And the were-rats vowed vengeance upon the humans of the city for killing one of their own. But you managed to quell those tensions by blinding their very rabid leader. And you've agreed to help set up a meeting between them and the field marshal to sort of see how they can help in the relief efforts and see if they can kind of reclaim their image a little bit. You've also learned about the Grey Maidens, who are Queen Iliosa's new sort of like personal guard slash preferred military outfit in the city. They seem to be all women. They've been recruiting for some time, and you've been hearing rumors of that. And they've even taken a good number of the female members of the Corvosan Guard into their ranks. And it's only in the last couple days, weeks, that they've started to appear in the city in their shining sterling silver armor and red flowing scarves. But you met one of their leaders, Corditra de Stade, who is working with is sort of coordinating efforts between the Corvosan Guard, the Grey Maidens, and this group of doctors that have been flown in from around the region, who are being referred to as the Queen's Physicians. They're being led by a man named Reiner Davalos, who I believe one of you has met so far, very briefly, who is in charge of investigating and hopefully figuring out a cure or something to the Blood Veil. But you've also found out via a very broad proclamation that's being plastered around the city that the maidens and the physicians have been kind of given a blank check to do whatever they want in pursuit of containing this disease and finding a cure. And any kind of disobedience to them is basically punishable by imprisonment, torture, or death. It's a very, very heavy-handed approach to hopefully containing this disease. You've also been looking into connections to Urgathoa yourselves, and have sort of pieced together that the Carowinds, a local sort of low nobility family, has been throwing very lavish parties for quite some time, and have been praying to Urgathoa, who herself is sort of a goddess of kind of Bacchanalianism. Bacchanalianists. In addition to undead and all the other stuff, but they seem to be praying to her to help boost the efficacy of their parties. And while investigating or eavesdropping on them, Mayhem found that it seems like maybe somebody else is watching them for some reason. but you haven't been able to figure out anything further than that, other than seems like the Carowinds are throwing a party soon, but you're not sure when or what scope that entails. You just know that they've hired a local ocarinist, a very popular young man, the Verzian, who's rather popular with the ladies. And that sort of leads us to the final thing that you were doing, which was investigating this miracle cure being proffered by a store known as Lavender in Corvosa, which claims to be able to cure the blood veil. You saw that they have a massive line leading out the shop and running down the block, and you don't believe the claims. But you were also able to kind of follow two of the guards or henchmen working there, and found that they were filling up a mysterious barrel from Lavender with basically just water from Jagare Bay. And you suspect that that's probably going into whatever this miracle cure seems to be. So you made them do a little slip and slide on some grease and caltrops to kind of mess up their night, but obviously that hasn't stopped them, at least in the long term. And yeah, I think that about covers it. We ended with you returning to the Script and Scrimshaw, but we're going to go ahead and skip ahead to the next morning. I'm going to kind of presume that you all sort of agreed to meet up later and discuss more, because I don't believe Mayhem has discussed any of his findings with the group, nor vice versa.
To share the outcome of our mischief.
Yes. A lot of things happen. And yeah, why don't we just go ahead and dive right in. So let me jump it to the next day as well. Let me know if I'm wrong. Also, you can go back in time. That's fine. But I'm gonna assume that you're like getting back together sometime in the morning, like 8 a.m. ish.
This only requires more work from me. Because I have to go through my spells. I'm going to do the same thing I did, make sure if that works, then that's
Okay.
the same thing I'm going to do every day. But I have to make sure I'm putting the spells in and using
Okay.
them.
Yeah, so I guess I presume the three of you meet up at the Script and Scrimshaw.
Suppose.
Maybe Regan might still be... You slip out the same way that you did yesterday, presumably using pest form to get out of the university, which has imposed their own lockdown protocol and isn't allowing students in or out.
Yes.
But just a clarifying question, you're not really alone in this ability, are you? Like, I imagine the entire student body is basically just leaving and coming back in whenever they feel like.
I don't know what the other students are up to. And I'm no snitch. We're all perfectly studious and not up to no good students.
Noted.
Oh wait, only one of you is a narc though. Regan would tell Felix about it. But anytime Tully asks, Regan would be like, why do you want to know?
I suppose at this point Tully might not even know about that the academy is on lockdown. Even.
No, I don't think that's come up yet, so...
Nope. So, sure. Regan, you arrive early to kind of finish up your spell prep and maybe have that small discussion with Felix before Tullios comes in. I guess alongside Lizzie.
She actually stayed for the night.
Oh, you're right. Yes, that's why she was there. The others were all staying upstairs, so Lizzie had a sleepover with Brianna. the daughter of Tace, the woman that you, well, Brietta is the one that you helped cure of Blood Veil, but
Tace is our new chef here at the Scrimshaw, if I recall.
yes. All right, lots of bookkeeping, but here we are. You're here.
For breakfast. How are the streets this morning as we're heading back? Are they pretty quiet?
Quiet-ish. There's a lot of coughing echoing through the city. There are sort of, actually, I should have checked how many days it's been. Ooh, yeah, let me, I have a record of YouTube videos for this. I will double check that. I'll answer your question in a moment, but it's not looking good.
That's fine. It's not reassuring, but I guess I'm mostly wondering if the streets are relatively empty versus people still trying to go out and about and live their lives.
What's today? Today is Calistral the 25th.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So today, as I guess both Regan and Tully, you would see this on the streets as you're on your way to the Script and Scripshaw. But things are looking rather grim. You see, there are basically dead people in the streets. There are like wheelbarrows with like 2-3 bodies piled up in them. You'll see maybe 1 or 2 Queen's physicians in their like their full like plague mask get up, scribbling notes as they're talking to bereaved families. You'll see a lot of you see relatively little Corvosan Guard presence, but a lot more of the Grey Maidens walking around keeping order. And often you'll see like a Queen's Physician and like 1 or 2 Grey Maidens with them as like an escort as they go from house to house checking on people. There are carters telling people to bring out their dead. It seems like suddenly a lot of people are just dying from this disease now. Those who haven't been able to get treatment.
I will continue on to the Script and Scrimshaw, keeping an eye out for trouble. But it sounds like there's not going to be much of that if people are this beaten down by the plague. But I'm also keeping an eye out for trouble from the Grey Maidens as well.
Okay. Yeah, you don't... you see a couple of, like, little, like, families are like, people are obviously, like, scared and distraught. And the Grey Maidens seem to be, like, a little, like, forceful. Not aggressive, but, like, forceful in their approach. They're very stern in their interactions. But yeah, there's not a lot of... Most people that you see outside are the sick, the dying, or talking to the Grey Maidens, or the physicians. Very few people are just walking out to their jobs or anything like that. This early in the morning, you would expect it to be a lot busier, but yeah, it's just not.
Noting that, then, in this case, Tully would actually dress down a little bit as he heads further to the Script and Scrimshaw, to not be in uniform as he might otherwise have been.
Okay, so you're not wearing your...
Guard
you probably don't have your like badge on, and yeah.
not the full accoutrement, and we'll also be wearing a mask because there's a plague going on. You should be masking. And we'll head to Script and Scrimshaw to see where everyone else is at.
All right. You enter. Oh, you knock and someone opens the door for
Door's
you.
open. No. Just making sure it's okay to come in this morning. How are we doing? You might be muted.
I think you find a scene of somewhat organized chaos. I imagine I would have tried to make breakfast. How long did I last before Taste threw me out of the kitchen?
Not terribly long. So by this point, Tace has probably already taken over the kitchen duty. Let's back over here to our Script and Scrimshaw map. So, yeah, I'm not sure what your preferred seating is, but feel free to sit wherever you want.
Regan, I imagine we would like take refuge in a table towards the back.
Oh yes, it's immediately what I would have done.
I always sit at the door.
Trying to
table's near the
prepare
front for some reason.
spells.
Easier to keep an eye on people coming and going that way.
All the kids are sitting at the kids' table over in the corner. They're having their breakfast. Tace is like bringing them out a plate. Shields from Flame is probably the one who opened the door for you. But she's just kind of sitting at her own table, having her own breakfast. While Felix and Regan are in the back corner.
I will go over and join them. How are we doing this morning?
Oh, we managed our own form of mischief. Did you actually get a good night's sleep?
Mostly. The city was surprisingly loud in a way I wasn't expecting last night.
Did Tully get a good night's sleep? Can I medicine check him to see if he's well rested?
He seems well rested at a glance, yeah.
And she looks at him and looks back down at her notes. It's like, all right, he did rest.
Tried.
Don't have to call out bad behavior.
I definitely agree. The city seems to be up to new forms of no good. Regan and I had our own adventure finding some
Snake oil.
snake oil salespeople.
Or dirty water.
That isn't any better than snake oil, I don't think.
I would have saved the flyer. Do I still have? Can I show?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you
I'll-
already saw the flyer. I believe you discussed that you were splitting up to do the two different things, so you're already kind of aware of that.
So yeah, we ended up following this lead back to the shop, only to find a couple of people from there taking a barrel over to the Jagari River to stock up on some fresh cure.
Oh, that's awful. Don't they know there are heads in that river? They'll
And
throw
worse.
ice in there all the time. It's terrible.
We weren't really able to like put a stop to what they're doing, but we definitely slowed them down a little bit, and at least have deprived them of one barrel.
Well, I could report this to... And Tully kind of closes his eyes and sits back. The Grey Maidens, since they seem to be taking charge of the investigation into the plague. Had I shared that the doctors had come into town? The Queen's ordered in a number of physicians from all over?
I think so.
I think so, yes.
Because you talked about that lady who I happen to know with my really good roll for no reason.
Oh,
Lives
yes,
in the
yes.
apartment.
Reagan was familiar with... was like previously a neighbor to Corditra.
Yes.
Yes, that was her name.
Well, they're already out and about and doing work, so I could report to them. we could also take care of it ourselves.
I do think that some form of actual resolution is necessary. I wasn't able to do much more than scare them, but maybe that will at least reduce some of the harm they're causing to the city. What fun did you manage to get up to?
Oh, I went and spied on a house for a while.
Oh.
They're throwing a party in a few days, maybe a week. Didn't get the exact timing. They hired a ocarinist. I'm not familiar with ocarina playing. I assume it's a skilled instrument of some kind.
Did you catch their name?
I might have. Did I? Ruan Mirakova? Is that the name?
Yes.
I think so. Ruan Mirakova.
Do I know this person?
Do I know this person?
Sure. Give me society checks, or if you've got some other related, kind of like entertainment lore or something similar.
Ocarina lore? Anybody?
I am young.
Yeah.
Can I use my class DC? I'm a bard. They're presumably like, if not a bard, then somewhat related. But
Actually, my society.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's still society, I think.
yeah, society is.
Performance check, maybe? For
Performance. Yeah, I would allow performance, actually. Yeah, that makes sense.
Am I hip? Let's find out.
Darn it! I pressed private.
But I can still see the roll, so it's fine. Okay, let's see. We got 2 rolls here. Yeah, Regan, you've heard of this guy before. I don't know if you listened to it specifically, but you've definitely heard of other students talking about him. He plays at the amphitheater sometimes. And yeah, like he's like young, attractive. A lot of the girls really like him. Yeah, he's just a kind of very popular modern ocarinist.
What's his like genre of? Is it upbeat music or is he a classical?
Yeah, he's kind of like an upbeat, like pop music star for the whatever accounts as pop music in the modern era.
I mean, it's an
Pathfinder.
ocarina. It's got to be poppy, right?
Regan loves the top 50. She's like, what? They got him for their personal party?
Sounded
Felix, you've been to his shows.
Yes.
Is that a good evaluation or a bad evaluation?
Oh yeah, he's real good.
Okay.
Yeah, you've heard about him. Like you've been like last year. You went to a couple of his shows to see what all the fuss was about, and yeah, he's good. Yeah, he came from. You would know that he came from the slums here in the city. He's a longtime Corvosan. You might have. You probably heard him play at a really young age too. Like he sounded like he was a prodigy then, like when he was like 5 or 6. You've been hearing about him all your life, all his life rather, since you're way older than him. You've been hearing about him all his life. He's a regular savant of the ocarina, and other instruments too. But the ocarina seems to be his like kind of go-to favorite. But he's a good singer too. And sometimes he'll play with a band, but a lot of times he plays by himself.
Well, fancy. They've got themselves a rather nice musician for their party.
Makes me wonder who would be spying on the Carowin estate then, because somebody else was watching while I was.
Who wouldn't be spying with that kind of talent?
But that's the question. Who's going to be interested enough in this Mirakova? I really don't know music. I'm
It
sorry.
is impossible to narrow it down. Everyone in my in the academy loves him. I love him. I have all his posters. No, I
Should
don't
we
have
go to
all of
the
them.
academy
I
then
have
and start
several
there,
of them.
start questioning people? See if anybody might
Should
be
go and ask
that
if
desperate to
anyone's
like.
going to the party. I can't believe I didn't know about this party. Usually I follow where he's going because I like to know about that. Now it's
Yeah,
getting
you.
creepy. Now it's weird. We're cutting it off now.
Yeah, Regan hasn't heard anything about a party that he would be headlining or anything like that.
That's ridiculous that I wouldn't know that.
Well, and it's crazy that at a time like this he would even be agreeing to a performance. Like they must have promised a incredible pile of platinum for him to take such a risk.
Well, the Carowinds are pretty wealthy, from my understanding. They have a nice house and a lot of servants, from what I could tell. So, probably. Must have been a lot of money, though.
If they're planning a party that fancy, then maybe we can find a way to be there, either invited or otherwise.
You want to crash the Carowinds party?
Yes.
I mean, wouldn't you? If not only for Royan's performance.
I mean, I don't care about music or parties, but I
Of
like
course,
the
you
style.
don't care about music or parties. That's
What is that
obvious.
supposed to mean?
It's very you're not very fun. You do understand this. I bet Lizzie knows though. You should ask her about him. Have you asked her about him?
No, she was here, and I went home last night.
Oh. Well, maybe we can ask her about him. Well, my
But-
goodness. And then Regan's like, oh my goodness, you don't think the person you saw was there to kill this guy? You don't think it's like an assassination because he's so good at music?
I didn't at first, but apparently he's such a big deal. That's why I was suggesting we go to your university and start questioning people to see if anybody's stalking him. Though, Regan, I'm starting to get concerned. Where were you last night?
I was with Felix. Felix and I were up to no good. You heard about the snake oil people.
I
We
heard
were-
Felix talking about it. I just want to be sure that you were also there and not hiding in a bush someplace nearby me.
Nearby you, no. I wasn't doing that. And I wasn't hiding in bushes, though I was hiding behind other things. But no, I was with Felix, then I went back. We could question people at the university, though, but it is locked down.
Oh.
So you might not be able to do that. But
Oh,
I can
suppose
do
that
it
makes sense.
later if you want.
Are you even able to get back in, though, if they've locked down? Probably letting you in because you're a student. That makes sense.
Yeah. Students can come in and out however often they want to.
That doesn't seem like a very secure lockdown, though.
Why are there students?
The whole point of locking it down is to make sure that contamination's not getting in and out, right?
That's true. Maybe they're just not very good at locking it down.
You may want to talk to them about making sure that students aren't just going willy-nilly, though.
This is what I mean about how you're like no fun. You don't want people going willy-nilly. You don't want to go see concerts. You don't
I
want to
care
crash
if
a
you see
party.
concerts. I'm just saying, if we're crashing a party to see a concert, that's one thing. If we're crashing a party to try and help somebody, that's a different thing, and I'm much more interested in that.
Well, if he's gonna get assassinated, we should go help him.
Do we? I'm sorry. I want to understand something here. Do we think he's going to be assassinated? Is that with
What
everything else going
would
on?
it
Do you
be?
think that's going to happen?
I somehow don't think that Rowan is the target of any particular assassination attempts. It's more likely the Carowinds
We
themselves
don't know that. Who
have
cares
attracted
about the
attention
Carowinds?
for
How
being
important
so
are they?
bold as to host a party in the middle of a plague.
They like pretty important. The Carowinds.
They're one of the wealthier families, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're like a new money wealth kind of nobility. They've got their estate in like the new hip part of town. It's like the newest district of the city. They're not particularly like important in like the upper echelon of things. Like they're not a very old house. But yeah, they do have a lot of money.
I mean,
And
it
they're
could be thievery.
the head is very elderly, I think.
don't have any other connections to the Caraways, I presume, correct? You don't happen to go to school with somebody from their family, or I don't know.
Yeah, do I know? Do I go to school with anyone? Or know of?
I believe we've already done a check on that before, and no, only Tully is familiar with the Carowinds, and that's basically just through work.
Yeah, I don't know anything about them.
Then we're gonna have a harder time getting in unless we can get some more information.
How do you think people get invites to their parties?
Be rich.
Well, or be staff. If they're hiring for music, they're probably going to cater. Or pull in an impressive number of ingredients to fuel the food that goes into this party. That may be our in.
So,
We'll have to track
how do we
that
get
in.
their attention to you? Because I feel like they're the type of people who would... You don't call them, they call you.
I
Well,
mean-
really, if we're going to worry about being called, we just need to be in the right place and make sure that we're the right people for it.
You
So-
could also just be a masked adventure. I'm sure that the mystique would get you through the front door at least.
So, this is above the table. Mayhem's notoriety has gotten to a certain level. Is it level enough where a rich house looking to make a name for themselves might want to showcase a vigilante at their party in terms of a, you know, what a lovely set piece we have?
I don't think so. Let me look at our...
Don't know if Mayhem's quite there yet.
No, your reputation has largely been kind of focused in Midland and in the kind of in the Heights in the northern part of town. I don't think you've really done anything in the South District.
It's true. Okay.
So,
So-
there might be rumors of you there, but certainly not as much as in the Midlands.
That's fine. It might be better, in fact, if they don't actually know who Mayhem might be.
You'll always be a hero to us.
Whoever that Mayhem is. In the meantime, so what do we want to
Yeah,
deal
I'm
with?
assuming that you guys are speaking at relatively low volume, since Lizzie is technically in the room. She's just on like the other side and actively chatting with her friends.
Do we want to start with this perfume dealer, or do we want to go after information about the Caraways and maybe see about infiltration?
Carowin.
Heroines, I'm saying Caraways.
How legal, like, is it something you can kind of turn in to the guard if someone's selling an item like that and misrepresenting it? Or they're like, they don't really care as long as it's not murdering people? Like, what's the FDA situation like in this?
Oh, from the guard's perspective?
Yeah, like, is there anyone who this would matter to that's not just us thinking it's...
Yes, I mean the guard would, and like the city hall would obviously like prosecute this sort of thing if it was found to be like fake, or like knowingly fake, or like knowingly a scam. Like that is illegal. Are they able to investigate that right now? Probably not. So yeah, you could certainly tell them about it and be like, "Oh, it's your problem, figure it out." But they probably won't be getting to it anytime soon, given how short-staffed they are and dealing with the active situation of the epidemic.
I see.
But you could certainly... It's the sort of thing that if you shortcutted the investigation and gave them proof, they could do something about more quickly and easily. Like with how you dealt with Gaspare, how you sort of found the proof directly and of his like basement of body parts. But yeah, with direct evidence, they can do something immediately. Without direct evidence, there's not much they can do. at least right away. They'd have to go basically do the investigation themselves, and who knows how long that would take.
Or we could
I
threaten
don't think-
them.
That was kind of my thought.
No.
No?
No, I'm into that.
I think that gathering evidence is going to be complicated because what are you going to do? Hold up a vial of water and say this doesn't cure a deadly disease? Like I'm having trouble coming up with the smoking gun we can hand over. On the other hand, they do seem to go out nightly for barrels of water.
Mhm. We could grab them instead of just making them slip all over the place.
If we just keep kidnapping the people that she sends out, she'll have to stop at some point, right?
Not like kidnapping them and putting them somewhere. Like kidnapping them. No. Interrogating them after we find them. But don't kidnap them.
Well, what do we do after we've interrogated them? We let them go?
A very
Regan.
expensive catch and release program.
Turn them in. I don't know. What do you do with criminals?
It's hard to turn them in when we don't have proof that they've done anything wrong.
What if they admit to doing something wrong after you interrogate them?
That's possible. We could certainly try it. That said, should we not be going after the person running the operation?
That's probably where you could get some kind of evidence of knowingly deceiving people, because like goons are probably just going to go get water because boss said go get water. They're not necessarily going to have what we need by way of evidence.
That's true. They could just say it's drinking water. There's no proof it's going in anything.
You need one of those good old fashioned journals that said I did it and this is how I'd done it.
Do we have to do another health inspector? Do I have to make another forgery?
Oh my gosh, we could reprise the character.
We could absolutely go back as health inspectors again.
I'm trying to think of how you'd get in,
We just walk in the door.
be a customer. Well, yeah, walk in the door, but how do you find out their operation in the back other than you keep walking indoors?
Basically.
Oh.
We told
Do
them
you
that we got a report that there was some suspicious activity here, and we were concerned about the contents of the
Oh, yes.
cure that they're selling, and we need to investigate and make sure that everything's on the up and up.
Is this
and-
as the health inspectors?
Yes, of course.
Oh, I thought you said just walk in as like normal people. That's why I was confused.
Oh, sorry. Yes, no.
I was like, oh my god.
I think we can just walk in and
Yes.
tell them we're here to inspect and make
Yes,
sure
yes.
everything's on the up and up. And when they tell us to go away, we will convince them otherwise.
Do you think the field marshal would grant us credentials for this time around? Like, we managed pretty good ones last time. We still have it somewhere.
I
Yeah, they
would
specific.
hate to bother the field marshal with this. The guard's already way over their heads. But we could ask. But that said, didn't the credentials work well enough last time?
Yeah, were they specific to the meats?
Were we specifically meat inspectors?
Yes, you're very specifically
You
meat inspectors.
We have to be-
I also feel that maybe
Cross out meat.
we're going after a slightly smarter class of criminal here, so they will not be completely flummoxed by the health inspector showing up.
Oh, sure.
Maybe they deal with it a lot. I don't know what they normally sell. I assume it's just their smelly stuff.
Potions or perfumes of some
Yeah,
kind?
perfumes.
Yeah. I think Tully knows that they're normally like a perfume shop.
Yeah, I
They
bought
might sell
something
some
for,
other elf chemicals, but typically perfumes.
I bought something for Lizdy's mother there once a long time ago. So
Well, if I know anything from real life, it's that when you dip into certain things and say they do stuff, you have to label them and the FDA will get involved. So, for example, you can make soap, but the second you say it cleans something, the FDA has to come and inspect your property to make sure you're following all their rules. But if you don't make any claims, you can sell it no matter what it is. So you can get away with selling perfumes, but now they're making a claim that they're selling something.
With homeopathy
Does
products,
something.
which I think
Yes.
this falls into, they
Mhm.
can state that it hasn't been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and
We
therefore
didn't
is not.
evaluate this.
Well, I'm saying they straight up you can straight up state on your packaging that it has all these claims were not evaluated by the Food
But
and Drug Administration.
how? We need to get a hold of their packaging.
I think we just need
We
to
have
go
to
over
see.
there and have a conversation and see
Yeah,
what's going on.
I like the inspector angle as far as that.
So we need to cross
think
out
you
the
do
meat
have-
part on those credentials and change it to food and drugs.
Food and drugs.
Is there a body in
have their
Corvosa
ad.
who regulates potions, elixirs, and
Wouldn't you
perfumes
know
there?
that? Felix?
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
the
think
Longacre building, like the city hall would do it.
Okay.
Like Corvosa is a city of very strict laws. Normally, under normal circumstances, Corvosa is a very, very strict city about their laws. So yes, there is probably legal code and around this sort of health packaging claim. But yeah, you could dig it up. You've probably got Felix probably has some various business law books in your own personal library.
Oh,
You
do
can find
you?
the relevant passages.
I'll read them all.
Right now.
You have books on the matter?
If this is the route we want to go, I'm down for it. I trying to remember what I used last time to go make this fake
It's
credential, 'cause
typically a society check to create a forgery.
I think we all attempted to create one, and we had
Yes, I
varying
believe you
degrees
just
of
chose the
success.
best one of the three.
I'll go for it again. Are we just going to?
I'm going to assume that you're moving this discussion up to your office.
As we graduate towards out and out crimes to fight crimes, we would go up into the office.
All right. Sorry.
But
I
yeah,
didn't mean
I'll
to
give you
interrupt
that society check so we can see how well this forgery comes off.
Okay. Make sure it's blind if you can.
Yep, I used buttons good this time.
Okay. And this is you're trying to create basically fake paperwork claiming that you're health inspectors for the city.
Correct.
Investigating the claims of this alchemical elixir. Yeah, you like pull up your various city code books that you've got basic propping up like one leg of your desk, and start rifling through them, find the relevant passages, and create a fairly official looking document. Yeah, passes the eye test.
I'll be wrong this time.
Sorry, Rom?
Ron, R-O-N.
Oh, Ron.
Ron.
Okay, Ron.
Oh, we have to think of fake names.
I mean, you don't have to, but it's more fun that way.
Fred. Ron and Fred. And
Regan raises a
Well,
finger.
my name was last time, but I can be. What is a cool name? Betsy. Ron, Fred, and Betsy.
we are
Wait,
all
who's the
normal.
like other? Wait, oh, these are like these are all like Weasley names except for that one.
Oh,
What was
they
the
are.
girl's name?
Ginny.
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 I would be Ginny.
Oh god, they are always the names. Okay.
This is beautiful. We walked into this.
All right.
I'll forget that in 5 seconds.
All right, you got some paperwork claiming that you are Ron, Fred, and Ginny from the Corvosa Department of Health Inspection and Safety, and you've got some like the legal book that you're pulling some of the code from. There is famously like a very big document. It's basically like, just a massive textbook that is all of this year's current laws, and those usually get updated every year. You have some subsection of that relates to businesses, but there's a lot more that you probably don't have. But you could find it in a library or at the city hall. But yeah, all right, you've got some good notes taken. I'll say this takes about an hour, so it's like 9 a.m. And I realize, I think the my overlay says that it's Sunday, but it is actually Moon Day. I'm not sure why it's incorrect. But yeah, Moon Day, the 25th of Callistril, and it's 9 a.m. Actually, I'll say it's 10 a.m. You guys were talking a lot, and then before you decide to sit down and put this plan together. All right, what do you do?
I think we're going to the perfume shop.
Yeah. Unless someone can think of any other hat they want to put on this hat.
How many hats can we put on the hat?
I mean,
I don't have a hat.
That does make it difficult. I think we're just gonna go as is then, unless you all want to dress up somehow.
I just have the
Can
plague
this-
mask on.
like I do think plague masks would be a good fit here. So
It would not hurt. I think I only have a regular mask.
Well,
the
you
plague
had
style.
the mask of the former king.
Yeah,
think
that would
you-
not have gone over well in this instance.
Oh,
I don't
ew.
think. But
I believe you gave that up. I don't remember who sold it or you gave it to someone. I forget. What
I
happened.
left it as an offering.
who?
Right.
Callistria.
Oh, I forgot.
And but I do have a basic face mask. It's the one that
Yeah.
Mayhem usually wears. And we'll just repurpose it.
do the city officials of this capacity have a uniform of any sorts? That we could-
No, they'd probably wear their typical, just like everyday clothing.
Fair enough.
Imagine our
At
paperwork.
least
should
what
be-
you'd expect.
That like
Yeah.
badge thing we got help? Or would it harm? I don't know.
It would help.
It's from the queen, right? Yeah, I think that would help.
It's from
The
the
car.
city, the
The city,
Drake
sure.
badge. It just
Yeah.
proves that you are like a person who has committed some great deed in service of the city.
For health.
Yes.
Yeah,
Depend a little
it doesn't
on
say
the
anything about what that was
For health.
for. It's just like a medal, basically.
You know, I like it. It works.
We'll sport it. Good call. And with that, off to the perfume place.
I think so. We'll worry about how to get invited to the fancy dinner party maybe after this.
Let's see. Figure out where you guys were on this map before. I need to move you to a different spot. Especially since you're coming during the daytime. All right. Okay. That's good. Missing something. One sec. Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Where are you hiding?
Thought this was already on the map, but I guess not. Trying to remember my Organization. Creatures, note, city. City. There we go. Sees, found it.
It's okay. I'm trying to remember what tools I might have to help fool people in this way.
I'm going in ready for a fight, so.
Apparently, I am as well with the spells I took. But
I mean,
not
I'm not
mentally
going-
am I prepared.
planning to fight, but I'm going in ready for one. So
Are you going as Tully?
I will be going as Tully, yes.
Okay. All right. And hopefully I marked where in Corvosa this is, because I forgot. Okay.
It was in the fancy part of town.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong screen. This screen, Corvosa map. Go.
These people.
Grab you guys. So yeah, you guys are going from the Scripton Scrimshaw, which is in Midland, all the way to just past the Academy to the west, to the Lavender shop over here. I can move you. I meant to move you there, but I failed to grab you correctly. Zoom out, drag, avoid the glare caused by my backlight. And there we go. Okay. Alright, you make your way over to Lavender. And switch back to the Lavender map. Yeah, as you arrive on the street Lavender is on, man, it's still not updating the my display. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Yeah, Lavender Street. Lavender is on Summoning Street. There we go. I remember. And by I remember, I mean I don't remember, but I put it on the map, so that helps me remember. Tools. Yeah, you see. Why is it like? Chrome is doing some weird stuff, updating things when I'm not looking. Maybe some setting got changed. Okay. So yeah, you guys arrive on the street. There's still a massive crowd, of like huge line all the way around the block of people. And you can see that there's a couple of these guys in purple and a woman who's standing out in front of the shop. She's like holding up one of these purple vials. She's like shouting to the people gathered around. Actually, there's like one of these guys is sort of keeping the line orderly as people are shouting that they like they want to get in. Like people are clamoring to get access to the shop. And I can show you what the woman looks like. She's a very well-dressed young woman. Here's her art. Here we go. She's currently wearing a yellow blouse with kind of like white frills, tight brown leather pants, and she's got like a short brown hair that's kind of pulled back with a blue headband or headscarf rather, tied around it, and she's got very vibrant green eyes. And let me get back to the page that this stuff is on. Now, please, everyone, don't push, don't shove. We've got plenty of, maybe not plenty, but we have enough for, maybe half of you today. But if you stay in line, I don't suspect that most of you will be able to afford it, but those of you that can, this will cure almost anything that you've got, even the blood veil. And people are kind of oohing and eyeing. You hear one person say, "How do we know this stuff works?" Oh, well, I mean, I would never lie to you. You hear,
Do they really need us to tear this apart? They don't seem to be doing a great job.
Well, it's just one person grumbling in the crowd, asking how it works. Yeah, you can roll a perception check if you want.
What?
But the lady, well, I assure you that my elixirs are top of the line. We've found a secret miracle item that is able to reduce your symptoms within a day. It's quite wild, actually. I was surprised that we found it myself, and it helped me. You hear an old man kind of step out of the crowd. I'm here today to get some more from my poor wife at home, but I didn't believe it myself, and it's actually cured my asthma as well. And people in the crowd kind of ooh and ah at that, and I want 5! Someone shouts from deeper in the crowd. Sorry, are these all perception checks?
On all this shenanigans.
Yeah, how obvious is this?
I was suspicious of her, but now I'm actually more concerned about the old guy who says that cured his asthma. Uh-huh. Sure.
Yeah, all 3 of you. Actually, no. Regan, wow, that worked on this guy's asthma. That's surprising, but
That's weird, but good for him.
Yeah, maybe something about it worked for him, but I mean, you're suspicious of it, but like she seems like she's at least telling the truth about it having some kind of effect. You doubt it's actually doing everything she's saying, but Tully and Felix, this looks like just pure like theater.
Including the old man?
Oh yeah, the old man is probably a plant.
Of course. Alright, I suppose we should go and...
Now please, step right this way, and the woman lets in a couple of people into the shop.
Gonna need whoever's
the
got
old
the
man.
paperwork to come with us.
Yeah, I
goes
was
back
busy
in
trying
line.
to get Foundry to let me move my own token.
Oh, no, you're not allowed.
Yeah, hopefully you can.
Yeah, I think we are going to walk right up like we are not part of this disaster, but we own the place.
As you start walking over here, someone in the crowd. Let's go with. I have all my little people here. Where are they? Ah, here they are. Sure, we'll go with this guy here. Maybe not him. No.
It's such
This
a cool
one.
border.
Dead.
Yeah, a guy who's like near the front of the line, sees you like walking towards the entrance and immediately like comes out to like shove you. Hey,
I should right back.
you'll have to get in line like the rest of us.
We're
Yeah,
here
I've been
with
waiting all
Corvus
morning.
and- oh,
I was here since last night.
Why? They were closed last night.
Well, I had to make sure that I could get some for all my children. They've all come down with it.
I am sorry to hear that. I don't think you're going to get the answers you want here. Excuse me, and Tully's going to ignore the guy who tried to shove him before and turn to the guard who's... I guess,
The guard kind of interposes himself, and I'll show you guys what he looks like. I think I showed you last time, but I'm proud of my Lavender thug.
It's good work. It's good work.
yeah, it's good work.
He's a very well-dressed thug in kind of a purple suit, a purple tie, purple cap. But you can tell kind of underneath that he's probably not normally the type to wear such finery. And he, puts a hand out to kind of stop you. Sorry, you're gonna have to get in line like the rest of them. We know the cure's been popular, but...
Ron, do you have the papers?
We are with the city's health and human services. We're here to investigate some claims with regards to an elixir that has recently been advertised around the city.
We've heard claims of some disgusting sort of ingredients being used in this, and we'd like to make sure that's not actually the case.
He looks over the paperwork you've provided. And let's see. Can't you just roll that directly afterwards?
Health and
Inspectors, huh? He looks at the paperwork and back at you. Wait over there. I'll go ask the boss about this.
All right.
Go wait over there.
Didn't the last time we had to wait somewhere?
I feel like it didn't go very well, but...
He calls over the other thug to kind of take over his spot in the line, or like managing the line. And he's going to go inside the shop to speak for a moment. And a couple minutes later, you can come in.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll slowly make our way inside.
Three of you make your way into the shop, which is
Very purple.
rather nice. Yeah, also very, very, very purple. Let's see. It is kind of every wall is covered in shelves with tons of little vials of different sorts. But the kind of main center display in the window is a big stack, or like a big table, a big white table with all of these purple vials of the miracle elixir stacked up onto it. There are also a couple of other curatives placed on smaller tables nearby, and there's like a pile of like discount clearance elixirs by the door. They're all just kind of they're like perfumes and other smaller things, but yeah, as you come in, you see the woman in yellow looks at you. There are a couple of people inside. I'm not gonna bother. I'm gonna just use this guy. I'm gonna duplicate him a little bit. There are a couple of people inside the shop. They're sort of maintaining a limit on how many people they let in. But you also see that there are two female employees aside from the woman in yellow. They look like this. They're both beautiful women, black hair. They look very similar. Maybe they're sisters. But they're also wearing the kind of lavender suits, lavender hats with like some kind of flower in their hair, possibly lavender. But they seem to be helping customers check out the wares. Most are just going straight to the piles of elixirs and grabbing them directly and going up to pay for them. There's someone at the front desk there who's taking the money, etc. But you are sort of immediately greeted by the woman from outside. You're the health inspectors, they said. I'm Vendra. Nice to meet you. Vendra Logri.
Nice to meet you, Vendra. I'm Ron. This is Fred and Giddy.
Hello.
We're here to investigate some reports of a miracle cure coming from this part of the city, and specifically your shop. I got that.
Oh, yes. I would love to talk to you about it more. Were there any concerns?
Specifically that the ingredients of this cure were heretofore unknown, and possibly could contain things that themselves be hazardous to health of the citizens of Corvosa. We're most interested in your production process, just to make sure that it is safe and producing a product fit for consumption.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine that the ingredients that we use are unsafe. I assure you, they're all natural.
Of course, and our interest is not in revealing any of your proprietary secrets, but rather to make sure that the production process that you are following is within the confines of the standard or Corvosan within the standards set forth by Corvosan law for a product made for consumption.
She listens to what you're saying and will think about it. Well, I guess there's no point discussing it here. Zell, would you mind watching the shop for a moment? I need to speak with the inspectors. Yes, ma'am, the lady at the counter says. Come, into the alley, please. I'll take you to my office. And yeah, she leads you outside the shop, and just behind the house. She unlocks a door in the alley and opens it, and steps inside. And you see like a small, nicely furnished apartment. Itself kind of decked out in like nice carpet. She's got some fancy Gothic chairs. There's flowers. I see she's got like a nice, well-stocked kitchen.
She got bananas? How's she getting bananas?
Yeah, she's got bananas. It's hard to get bananas these days.
It's hard to get bananas.
But notably, this is not a commercial kitchen for making food for public consumption. This is someone's home.
Yes, this appears to be her home. Please, she'll take a seat. She'll ask you to take a seat. Please, why don't you have a seat? Would any of you like any fruits? I've got some fresh vegetables as well. Some cheeses if you want to snack while we discuss.
I'm fine for now. The rest of you?
Thank you, but no. We're most
tea,
interested
perhaps?
in making sure the people of Corvosa are safe.
Well, I'll put on a tea for myself, and if you change your mind. And she gets a kettle and lights the fire and puts the kettle on it and comes over. What exactly is the problem?
Well, as stated before, you're selling a product to the public that is obviously under incredible demand, and it has no published ingredients, no proof of efficacy, and people are, as you can see outdoors, in more than willing to cause a minor panic to get a hold of it. We're here to inspect the production process underpinning your elixir.
That's only to be expected when a product this valuable comes to market. And while I would love to share my ingredients, I fear that others would steal my recipe. I don't know if I could do that in good faith.
Understood. And as I stated, we have no interest in any of the ingredients that you may have in the product, but rather the process by which it is prepared for consumption, the bottling, the other preparations that you may do to the ingredients to get them ready for sale to the public. This is obviously a sensitive operation that would be taking place in something more akin to a commercial kitchen and less. Felix will look around.
A personal
like
one?
Someone's home.
Oh, She kind of laughs. I don't produce it here in my house. That would be silly. I have an off-site lab where most of the production is done. It's bottled there and then brought here.
I think we'd rather see that than Terry here if possible, but unless there's something else you want to talk about.
Well, certainly I could arrange an inspection date, perhaps.
No, that needs to happen today. Now.
Today?
Now.
Well, I'm afraid I don't believe they're working today. They mostly work in the night.
Well, we can still take a look at the facilities, make sure that they're not contaminated with anything untoward.
Indeed. While we would like to see the production process in operation, reviewing the facility will at least let us understand if there are any clear violations as we go in.
Oh, I understand that, but if the staff isn't there, I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to get in.
Oh, you don't have access to your own laboratory?
I unfortunately haven't made extra copies of the keys. That's left with the chief of staff there.
And who is exactly the chief of staff?
She pauses for a moment.
Tully pulls out his notebook and a piece of chalk to start writing things down.
Yeah, we are in full interrogation mode here.
Oh, that would be my alchemist, Bree. She
one good
glances.
insight check because this is such a lie.
I swear to God, if she says, like,
You know the
Bree
last
loaf?
name of your Bree banana.
Salmon. Bree salmon.
Brie baguette?
You can tell she's lying. She's
Yeah.
put on the spot.
Tully's looking at Regan and Felix for permission at this point.
You're not gonna see a no from me. Like
That's
that.
Straight up.
That
lie.
wasn't even. There's not even a last name. Come on.
Tully's going to drop the pretense and will reach to grab her by the shirt.
Let's roll initiative then.
Okay, yeah. That would be acrobat or athletics, I guess.
Yes, I would allow athletics for initiative there. Otherwise, I would allow like diplomacy for initiative if you'd prefer, or perception.
I think I'll take
The first-
diplomacy.
Time I've gotten a high initiative.
Hey, got a 23. That's nice.
Oh no!
Tully, you are.
Oh, you're in there.
Yep.
Let's see what Vendra gets.
It turns out that
All right.
Ron, the health inspector's not going to say a lot to stop you. At least not quickly.
Okay, so Tully got a 25, Regan got a 23, Vendra has a 20, and Felix has a 12. Let me... Oh, hold on one sec. Do I have this set up right? I hope so. Sorry, just checking her stat block to make sure it's a real one. Yes, that is real. She just doesn't have... Okay. Alright. Go ahead.
All
What
right.
do you do? Tully is
first
up
action,
first.
we'll drop the notebook and chalk and just reach out and first action to grapple.
Okay.
It's this button right here. Oof. I'm going to use a hero point on that because I want that to work.
Okay,
don't
yeah,
like-
that was a 17, which would be a failure.
That feels better, and that looks better. That is a 26. now.
A 26 was versus Fort. Wait, sorry.
I believe so.
You roll-
Fortitude
yeah,
DC.
If she's
okay,
been taking her own elixirs, the fort won't be high.
Or maybe it
let
will
me make
be.
sure.
Their strength.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you grab her. Yeah, that's a. Is that a? It's not a crit success, right? 26. No, 26 is a success. So yeah, you grab her. I presume like by the arm or something.
He just grabbed me by the
Unhinged me.
shirt, basically. Do you not understand people are dying on the streets? And you're fucking around with this. I'll do that dialogue as a second action to intimidate, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Going for an intimidation or coercion.
Yeah. I wish the dice would be nicer, but that's okay. 21.
A 21 versus. Let me actually look at the course action. I haven't really used it directly.
I don't know. Is that a single action? I think that's an activity, so I'm not.
It's
sure
like
I
an
need-
activity, but this is sort of this is a wishy-washy thing.
Against the will DC. Modified by any
Yes, yes.
circumstance the GM determines, I guess.
Okay, yeah, you like grab her by like the shirt cuff and say what you said. Well, yes, I understand that, but I mean, this is a business after all. Some of us just have to make money the way we can. I'm not trying to get anyone hurt. It's
You
not my
are
fault if
murdering people by giving them false hope. And we're going to take our third action to try and trip her. And we'll fail with that too, because anything. No, fuck it. A hero point for that too.
Oh, sorry. Before you spend the hero point, the coercion is going to make that be the two, like the rest of your turn.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would Not
Yeah, it's not one action to do it.
my apologies. So then,
Sorry, yeah.
uh-huh.
But yes, that was a success. She is unfriendly, but she is like at least responding to you.
Okay,
Regan.
something.
Is she unfriendly because she's being intimidated, or is she always unfriendly?
She has turned unfriendly because she's being intimidated.
Okay.
She was kind of neutral at first. She's now unfriendly.
Oh, I've been unfriendly.
But she's trying. She's like cooperating, sort of.
I was gonna say something, I forgot what it was. It's like, ma'am, my colleague is being quite gruff right now, but it is important that we learn the ingredients and the production of your product because, natural or not, it can be killing people. It can be stopping them from getting help. Cyanide is a natural ingredient, for example. We need to take a look at it. That's my diplomacy.
Sure. Yeah, give me a diplomacy check.
Is this a blind, or am I allowed to see it?
You can see it.
I want to know if it's. Hey, 25. I'm happy with that.
That's a good roll.
Bravo.
Her eyes kind of lower. I know that, but it's just Felix.
I think this is the moment that distracting flattery was made for.
Oh, wow.
My goodness.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to like in this game of good cop, medium cop, bad cop.
Be the
Of
good
course.
cop to the situation.
Yes, I'm gonna try to be the good cop. Oh, no, of course, you're trying to both help the public and turn a profit. That's only natural. And we just want to make sure that you are running a safe and sound facility that enables you to do both things. Fred here is just unusually zealous about his role as a health inspector.
That gets a glare from Tully, but he doesn't say anything else.
Oh
Give me the
god!
Deception.
Whoa!
That is a
Why?
natural one.
I'm gonna a hero point because literally anything could be better than this.
Another
Any
one.
Alright.
other number? Much better.
Oh, good.
The
All
other
right,
end
you
of
flipped
the
it from
die.
a 1 to a natural 19 for a 30. Okay. She. Yeah, that'll reset her mood back to neutral. and that will effectively sort of end the encounter. Fine, if you want to see how it's made, here, follow me. And she kind of like tries to push her hand off of her.
I'll
Use
release
like
like
a-
a point then.
Okay. She takes a few steps over towards her, like another door. Seems to lead into her bedroom. You can follow her into it, and she approaches a back door, or like a back panel of the wall, which she slides open to reveal kind of like an old, sort of broken down room of the apartment next door. Seems to be like a bedroom. There's kind of like ruined, broken down furniture. You're not gonna like it, she said. She kind of mumbles as she brings you into the next chamber beyond that, where she's got a cauldron bubbling, and lots of boxes and containers. Here's the lab.
Well,
Wasn't across town at all.
and this is definitely not the sort of facility you should be using to create things intended for public consumption.
Are
No.
these the barrels with the water?
Oh, so you already knew, or did you? Or you? Sorry, did you say that out loud?
Sorry, that was above the table.
Okay. Okay, above the table. Yeah, you take a look at these barrels. You can like pry one open and see. Yeah, it's kind of just murky river water in there. To her left, there is a bunch of. Sorry, I was trying to find where that was. What's that? Yeah, a collection of sort of mismatched, delicate perfume bottles that are, most of which are empty. Yeah, another one with the vials of magenta that seem to be the new vials they're getting poured into. What we do is we take a bit of seawater, mix it up with a few old perfumes that we have left overstocked, dilute it a bit here, boil it, and repackage it in the luxurious liniment bottles. Or liniment, not ligament. Liniment.
Ooh.
Luxurious
That's
liniment.
an ingredient. So it was what I was afraid of.
You got me. I know I shouldn't be doing this sort of thing, but I mean, a girl's got to support her lifestyle, you know? Everyone's just doing what they can to get by, and I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, no one's
Have
dying
you not
from
walked
it.
the streets? Do you not know what's happening?
I mean, I do, but what are the dead gonna do about it? There's no hope for them.
Excuse me?
Step away for a moment.
I was. I mean, yes, I'm trying to make money, but I was also just trying to provide people a little bit of hope, you know? I
While
don't think there's any harm in it.
while I understand the rationale that you've used, this is a serious health violation and a rather dangerous thing to be doing with the health of others.
It needs to stop.
Yes. Fred is very, very accurate in that. The thing that we need to discuss is how you would like to wind this down. I believe that everyone who's purchased a product needs to both be told and receive a refund.
A refund, but she kind of stammers a bit and looks down.
At the very least, they need to be made aware that the product may not work as intended. If you do not have the funds to pay them back, I understand. You have to support your lifestyle, you said?
I can give them refunds. I hadn't spent any of the money yet anyway. I only just started selling it. I'm not gonna have to go to jail for this, am I? It's not that serious, is it, Inspector?
Regan's looking at Felix with like the most aggressive expression.
We need the records from everything that has happened here, and this is a serious crime. This, like, misleading people about their health can get them killed. You are lucky that it hasn't happened already.
That said, because it hasn't happened already, we will not be taking you anywhere at the moment. But we do need those records.
Fine. They're in my dresser here. She kind of goes back to her chambers and like picks up her like ledger.
Close the door on us.
Too many buttons.
Oh, Regan's like taking one of the bottles.
Oh yeah, you can take one of the either an empty bottle or a full bottle, up to you.
A full bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We need I need this just in case.
Take all the evidence you want. I will keep her busy with collecting the written records.
Yeah, Regan's in.
Yeah,
here.
she's like stacking up some papers, like pulls out her ledger, stacks the papers on top of it. Here's all the business records. And I can have the boys clear the crowd and we'll stop selling immediately. Close up shop for today. Is that enough, or...?
I think so, for now.
Indeed.
I do wish you well on your perfume business. The smell outside is not going to be pleasant for quite a while either. So it may still do fine.
Right.
You really haven't been outside much, have you?
No, there's a plague going on.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's why we don't play games.
Fair. She kind of pouts a little bit.
Wah.
No sympathy.
I was looking forward to getting that new candelabra too.
It'll still be there when you have the money for it, the proper way.
Indeed. Corvosa is resilient, and I'm sure the demand for fine perfumes will rebound faster than you could guess.
If you really want to make money off of the dead, maybe you can get into embalming fluids.
No, with all the dead going around, that might not be such a bad idea.
I mean, and the positive is that you really don't run into our department. They're already dead.
It's true. We do not handle anything with embalming fluid.
But that's not as glamorous. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
You know,
Death hasn't had your marketing applied to it yet.
That's a fair point. You have an air for it. It caught our attention quite quickly, for better or worse.
Well, I'm nothing if not an ideas person. I'll think of something.
Good luck to you.
Indeed.
Well, I'd better start getting things
Down.
lined out.
Yeah. We'll stay out of your way, but otherwise we'll make sure that the business wraps up today.
And I would let you know that the guard will likely send somebody to make sure everything is shut down. But I don't think you can worry about anything else beyond that.
She sighs and goes to like start breaking up the crowd. Or she goes out to the two thugs and tells them to start breaking up the crowd. You hear loud complaints and shouts. She then like goes inside to like tell the customers that the shop is closing down for the day and possibly for a while. And people sort of dejectedly file out.
We'll be good to our word. We'll monitor, but we'll not get involved.
No. We will absolutely get her arrested.
Oh gosh, yes, but
Yes,
like,
yes. I'm like,
Just
there's
now.
Regan is very much like, there's no way the guy who ran the meats operation, who had a really good heart, is still rotting in prison, which he
Yeah.
does not deserve. She deserves longer.
oh, she's going to prison.
Oh
but
no,
we're
the
looking
other
through-
the other
we're looking
guy.
through these books.
Oh, did he get released? Like, what happened? to
You
him?
never took him in. The young
I thought
one.
he was- No, the head of
Oh,
it was
the
there.
leader. Yeah.
Yeah.
Varric Van Kaskerkin is
Van
still in
Kaskerkin,
jail
yeah.
as far
Yes.
as you know.
Yes.
And I wrote a letter of recommendation that he do community service, which I should follow up on because now is the time for the most community service. And now I'm thinking about
You're
it.
not
I have
wrong.
to go. Now
Um,
Reagan's pissed. She's like, he doesn't deserve to be in there, but she does. It's
Um,
taking me a
so-
lot
so-
not to use Bone Shaker on her, by the way. It's taking so much effort for Reagan
lot
just
of
to
moments.
sit there.
Yeah.
Holding back all the rage. Well, yeah. So yeah, it takes like about an hour or so to kind of get all of the people to leave. To get the vials boxed up. To be destroyed. She takes down all of her signage. And then comes back to you. Is that good enough for now, or?
It's good enough for now. Thank you for doing the right thing. In the end.
Sure. She says, kind of trying to manage a smile.
I think I will wish her her health as much as she can muster of it, and see ourselves out.
Yeah.
I wish her nothing.
Respect.
All right.
And we leave.
We gotta get someone here before she leaves town. I don't trust her.
Well, we're heading to the guard first.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna rifle through these papers during our walk because I want to see if there's any evidence that this was more than just some opportunistic venture.
Oh, you think
Like-
that this is part of some sort of other plot?
You know, we've seen so many other like plans within plans taking place here in Corvosa that I'm not putting it past, but like I also don't expect to find anything. But we have a walk ahead of us. I mean, what else might?
No, it's a good thought. I hadn't considered that. I just thought it was capitalist opportunists, as most capitalists are.
I read the same thing out of this situation, but who knows what
At
we
least
might
put
find.
like drugs in it. You know,
Right?
like
Like
something to
they
make you
could
feel a little
good for a bit
better.
until they die. You know.
Yeah, but this is just it's water with like have you ever tried to drink perfume? I bet you haven't because you're smart.
Thank you.
taste
I
good.
appreciate that compliment.
You're all smart.
I'm smart enough not to drink perfume. Please.
Well, at least she boiled it. That
Yeah.
I don't know if that would make it better or worse though, because it's going to be
It's-
concentrated.
Well, she
Yeah, but
dilutes
at
it, then
least-
she boils it.
like the parasites in the water aren't getting in.
Yeah, from what you could tell, she was boiling the water and like drastically diluting the perfumes and adding. I didn't say, but she's also adding like some spices like cinnamon and
Oh.
stuff to like kind of make it smell better, or like not. The perfume and the spices are to mask the river water taste.
Mm.
Shocking.
At
Zesty.
least maybe put like something in it to kill them faster. Like, I know what that sounds like.
Do you have a way to like examine the contents of the vial?
Me? I'm not
Besides just looking
sure.
at it?
Do I? Or would this be like a?
It might be outside of your wheelhouse of
I can
expertise,
just
but
smell it.
you are the scholarly one.
Yeah,
I
unless
can
you have
tell
like
you
an
if it's alcohol or
alchemical crafting. Like if you had an alchemical lab, you could, or like an alchemical toolkit.
I'm like, I
Um,
don't. So
Okay.
I have crafting, but I don't have that in particular.
Yeah.
I don't have like test kits for this.
yeah,
But
you would.
someone
Yeah, an alchemical or an alchemist toolkit or whatever the item is called is what you would need to, or an alchemical lab. One of those two would be what you need to perform further tests on it.
Well, I get to be
but
blurry today.
With
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
you have
look-
detect magic prepared, I think. So with
Yeah, I
detect
do.
magic, you're at least able to tell that it's not magical.
Yeah, this isn't magical. It's
Would there be there should be alchemic labs at the Citadel, right? Like they would have
yes, there
some-
would. Yeah, there would be.
Yeah, so we can.
There's a
take look at it
forensics
once we-
department. They would have some.
Yeah, we will see if there's some opportunity to test it there then, since we have to go report in anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Is that
What-
your next? Oh well. Go ahead.
I think that is our ultimate goal, but I would love to, during the walk, just page through these records and see if what background or history is behind this particular scam. I'm gonna go with scam. And maybe see if there's like a history of these.
I mean, she's only really given you the documents for like the last couple of weeks, which is when they started
Okay.
mixing up this liniment. It looks like the stuff she sold before that was just perfumes.
Okay.
Like perfumes and like some ointments and things. But this is the only product that, aside from the perfumes, that she claims to make herself. The rest of the stuff seems to be like imported or purchased from other merchants. So those might also be snake oils, but
Yeah.
like it's going to be the
Right.
typical like health and beauty products you might find, like various skin creams and stuff that may or may not do anything, but that's not terribly illegal.
These statements haven't been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration.
Yes, as we
Yeah.
discussed.
No, this is the contents of that aisle in every Whole Foods.
Yes.
This is the only thing that she had in her inventory that was intended for human consumption.
That works. Is there a customer list in here so that the like people who have been impacted by this can actually be notified?
Yes, there is a customer list of like who purchased the vials.
Anyone interesting, like the Carowinds?
Mm.
Are the Carowinds on this list?
This is kind of a check to see if they've been that badly deceived.
Yeah, they get duped too.
That would be a society check, I think, to skim for something like that.
Okay. Just see if there's any interesting names that happens to just be an interesting name I know.
Yeah. There's a few names that sound like nobility. Most of these names seem to be like Varisian and Shawanti names. There's some Chalaxian names in there as well, but the majority look like they're probably lower class. Like, no, you don't see many higher class sorts of names here, or any like big noble families of note.
Okay.
You see no blank the third or blank the second or juniors or what have you. No noble titles.
It was worth a check, and at least the records are complete enough that everyone who purchased this scam can be notified. Unless anyone else has any other questions for this pile of papers I'm out of them.
I
No.
think I do.
So I think we're heading to the Citadel.
All right. To the Citadel. That's what, like a 30-minute...
Yeah, it's on the other side of town.
30... Where's my time? Can't remember what I want to. There we
Wee.
go. Okay. Are you moving yourselves, or I got you?
Oh.
Unless you already did. Okay, you
Well,
already did.
I'm going.
Alright. Whoever is going, and now I'll move the rest.
Yeah.
Citadel.
Thank you.
Yeah, Regan, you have half an hour to stew while we get over there.
Oh, and I've been stewing.
Oh, I still have these guys here. Okay. Yeah, you arrive like 30 minutes later. It's like noon 30 by now. I didn't say it before, but I skipped some time because of you walking there and conversation and whatnot. But yeah, it's like noon 30 when you arrive. The guard at the front is calls Tully. Ah, Tully, reporting in for work.
Not quite yet. I'll be on shift here probably in about an hour, but a couple other things that these folks need to do. They're here helping out the field marshal, so we're gonna go head over to the alchemy labs.
Oh yeah, feel free. And he lets you by, and you make your way into the Citadel. You're unaccosted as people know you, and you make your way over to the like detective, like forensics department floor, and find their alchemy lab. You do see there's a couple of Queen's physicians there in the lab. Along with a Grey Maiden. Yeah. Yeah, there's a pair of physicians and a Grey Maiden there in the same room. But they're interacting with one of the lab stations, but there's another station that you can go sit at.
I'll gesture for Regan to feel free.
Oh, a lab for me?
All
Ooh.
yours.
My goodness. Good thing I brought several of these vials. She takes out 4 of them.
And yeah, I guess, do any of you have the like alchemy crafting feat?
Absolutely not.
I don't have
Okay.
alchemy crafting.
This room is full of so many pretty vials.
What's the feat called? Alchemical crafting. Okay.
I
In
can
that
tell you if they have
case-
alcohol in them or not.
Yeah, I would take an alchemy check. Oh, sorry, not alchemy check. A crafting check then, just broadly.
You want blind?
Yes, blind, please.
I'm gonna do 2 then.
I'll assist.
I'll wait for your assist.
Oh, was that the assist just got
Mine,
rolled?
mine was the assist.
Okay, that is a critical success. That was a 25. So add, you're trained in crafting, so add 2 to your roll.
I'll do this and I'll roll a second time.
All right.
And then.
Oh, so you're using a hero point on it?
Yeah.
Okay. That first roll, and that's a second roll. Okay. All right, and you're just kind of trying to separate and identify the ingredients here.
Mhm.
Yeah, it seems like it is a majority river water. There's you're detecting a pretty high amount of sugar as well,
Ooh.
and cheap perfume are like the 3 main ingredients. But there's also a couple of spices that you're able to identify. But yeah, those seem to be the 3 main things. No bacteria content that you're able to pick up, so it seems at least the vial you have was boiled at a high enough temperature to remove that kind of contaminant, but it does have a small amount of perfume in it, which is the chemicals in that are probably not good for you.
Well, nothing worse than what she said was in it. That's good news.
I'm relieved that she wasn't actually poisoning people, but
She wasn't helping them either. In fact, she
No.
was taking their money.
we need to report this. Would it be appropriate to go straight to Field Marshal Croft, or would it be better to find somebody lower in rank to say, hey, send somebody out to...
You could do either. You could do the field marshal if you were going to go talk to her anyway, about anything, but you could just as easily report it to, like, one of the sort of higher ups, and
Yeah, sergeant or something.
yeah.
Well, I'd like to speak to her.
Oh, then that decides it. We'll go
Good.
see if Field Marshal Croft is available.
You can speak to the evidence the best, so it makes sense.
Yes, about
Okay.
the evidence. That's what I
Before we
said.
leave, I'm kind of curious as to what the physicians were looking at, if I can kind of get an eye on what they're working on.
That would be perception, if you're just trying to kind of like glance over.
That's really it, just getting an idea of what they're up to. Just curious more
Okay.
than anything.
Yeah, if you're just trying to like kind of listen in. If you were trying to like go over there and talk to them, it could be like deception. But yeah,
Nothing,
it would take
nothing quite so fancy. Just an eye out while Regan's working.
Okay.
Question marks.
Yeah, it sounds like you overhear one of them say something about like the sample, and another one say something about collected blood from one of the dead. So it sounds like they're
Working on a cure.
yeah, it sounds like they're investigating or like the symptoms or the blood of the victims of this disease.
Oh, interesting. Is it bloodborne? Did we establish how this is passed?
Nope.
No, as far as you've not been able to determine, and you have not heard of any strong connection to any particular means of contraction.
Okay.
So I had the water plan with the posters.
I like that.
Oh, right, I forgot about that. Yes, you did
Let's
put
never
up.
forget. Maybe one day someone will send me a little letter, or Felix, because I told him to send it there. But
Yeah.
maybe not.
We'll find out. But in the meantime, I think we'll just head up to the field marshal's office.
All right. You head up to the field marshal's office. And as you're going up, you see a queen's physician and a gray maiden leaving her office and heading back down the stairs. She spots you from the doorway Felix, Regan, Tully, did you have something?
Yes. We have. Well, I have two things. We've uncovered. I don't think it would be called a plot. A scam going around of perfume shop taking advantage of citizens trying to sell them snake oil to cure this disease.
And she'll ask you for the details, and presuming that you're just going to tell her all of that, just straight up. Then you spend like 15 minutes explaining what you found, show her the evidence that you've collected. Yeah, I do believe that this warrants a proper arrest. We'll have to shut the whole business down. should probably get started on that right away. If you don't mind waiting here for a moment. And she'll get up and go talk to some people and arrange a group of guards to go arrest her. Unless you stop her in any way.
No.
Nope. Tully lied.
She should be super arrested.
She's getting arrested.
Yeah, like there's to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect any amount of money.
Okay.
She's smart.
Yeah.
But
The field marshal comes back and sits down. Well, there were a couple of people free, so they're hopefully going to go take care of that right away. Was there anything else you had?
Yes.
wanted
I
to
did have a
discuss?
question. Unlike this woman that's going to be arrested, there are some people sitting in your prison who have... Oh, I had it in my head and now it's gone. Good intentions for this city, whose talents I think might be a bit wasted just sitting in prison right now. Do you think we could possibly put them to, community service work?
Oh, you speak of Varric.
Yes.
I did forward your letter to the city hall, but they haven't been getting back to me much at all about anything these days. But honestly, it's not a bad idea.
Yes.
We are very
Seems
short-staffed
legit.
on guards. I suppose it can't hurt. And we are in desperate need of hands just to... well, even to collect the bodies. Actually, we've been having some issues with that. I don't know if you've seen, but many people have been dropping dead this last day or so.
I did see.
It seems that the illness only takes about 7 days to fully run its course on those people.
Yeah, I did notice there were a lot of corpses.
Yes, too many to really deal with. The Pharasmans are working on digging some mass graves for people in the interim, but things have already spiraled out of control. We're supposed to have carters delivering the bodies, but I don't know if it's just laziness or what, but many of them aren't even showing up. I'm
Many
a
of the
bit worried about
carters
it.
or the bodies?
The bodies that they were supposed to be delivering.
That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
That's interesting.
It
Are they just
does.
like taken from the street and not getting here? Or are they just still on the street?
They're supposedly picked up. We have the records of them being picked up, at least. Been mostly relying on independent citizens to do that work, and some guard members. All the guards have been delivering theirs just fine, but some of a handful of the civilians we've been paying have been not turning up with all of the bodies, or have said that some of the bodies haven't been there when they've gone to pick them up.
Oh, that's so interesting. You know, I was thinking about that when I was looking at all the bodies.
You don't think it's connected, do you? And she lets that sit for a moment.
Well, I mean, we didn't find Rolf.
It's
It may
true.
not be done.
He's still at large.
That son of a bitch is out there stealing bodies.
Another headache I didn't want to deal with today.
Suppose we could deal with it for you.
Or at least try. I'm also thinking about the fact that, like, we still haven't really pinned down how this disease spreads. A large-scale piece of magic is just as likely as anything else.
Yeah, the spread has been strange. I've been talking to various priests at the different cathedrals, and as far as they can tell, it's almost random how it appears. Many of the there will sometimes be priests who had not been working with the sick or injured, the afflicted at all, who would just suddenly turn up with the disease, despite presumably no contact. It's incredibly odd, but it does at least seem to be concentrated in places, largely in Old Corvosa. That's why we've had to initiate a lockdown there, or quarantine. There's also been a pretty large number of people affected in the Heights and North Point, and
above the table, was Old Corvosa quarantined before? Because we just went there to talk to DeVargo, didn't we?
Yes, you did. You've not heard anything about a quarantine.
That's very new. Okay, I thought so,
Yes.
but
this is your first time hearing of a quarantine.
Yes, that did seem new.
to be clear, Commander, the whole of Old Corvosa has been quarantined?
Oh, I suppose you might not have heard. It just happened yesterday. But yes, we've had to institute a quarantine there because it was just getting too out of control and spreading too quickly. I don't know if I fully agree with the methods, but it's what was recommended by the physicians, at least for the time being.
Let all these people just suffer and die?
We just simply don't have enough priests able to cure the affliction fast enough. And no alchemical cures have been found as of yet.
I know the physicians are working on it. I saw them working with the blood sample downstairs, but doesn't feel right.
All the more reason we have to work as quickly as we can. But yeah, if you... sorry, my brain's scattered from... I've barely gotten any sleep. She, puts a hand on her face and looks down at her desk, trying to sort out her thoughts. You can tell, she's got, bags under her eyes. There's a cold cup of coffee on the desk there beside her.
Is there something we can take off your plate, perhaps?
Well, probably the most important thing right now, I think, is if Rolf is still at large, that's something we should deal with as quickly as possible. If you're able to look into it at all, I'd really appreciate the help.
I imagine we can do so. Sure.
Is there
Good,
any perceivable pattern to the people who are not bringing back bodies? Are they too all confined to Old Corvosa or any other ward of the city?
You'll have to talk to the detective I currently have on the case. She's downstairs, but and she'll give you the name of the detective.
Of course.
She might know more, but she's also been assigned to a bunch of different cases, so I'm not sure if she's gotten time to look into it too deeply.
Fair enough. I'll go talk to her. But you will consider for Varric something more active and useful?
I think I'll go talk to him myself. I'm sure, given his past, that he'd like to do what he can to help the city, and maybe we can sort something out.
Yeah, his intentions seem good. I think he He does want to help, at least in my opinion. I haven't talked to the guy in a while.
He's been fairly cooperative so far. His compatriots less so, but
Yeah, it's fine.
I think you're correct that Varric would be much better put to use as a hand in the city rather than in prison.
Ah, thank you. I appreciate it.
In fact, I should probably go do so right now while I still have the time. I'll see you later then.
Yes. Thank you, Field Marshal.
Thank you. I hope you can get some rest.
Probably not anytime soon. She kind of laughs and makes her way out of her office.
We'll head downstairs then to talk to this detective, see if we can sort out who might be stealing bodies.
Yeah.
Again.
Some more.
I give this my first thought, which is like, there's bodies around. I'm like, I bet some are missing. But someone's taking some bodies out there.
What about like the bodies just lying there in the street? I wasn't even thinking about were the ones that were missing from lying in the street.
These are the ones we can see.
Yeah.
A part of me wants to see if we can use the city's resources to just pull information on the Lamb family, because maybe Rolf's got a brother.
I am sick of these people having brothers and uncles and fathers and mothers and so forth.
How
People need to
dare
stop having
people
families.
have relatives?
No more relatives.
Rolf's half-brother. The other half is a zombie.
Well, his half brother actually hates him, so it's actually good that we found his half zombie brother. Very helpful.
But yeah, we'll go talk to the detective and see what we can learn.
Okay.
That Rolf.
Yes. So this is Detective Berenice, Berenice, Berenice. So you make your way downstairs to Detective Berenice's office, and she is like rifling through some papers of her own. She's got her own cup of coffee. Tully, is it? She says with some kind of like vague recognition of your face.
Oh yes. We were
Is
told
there
you were
something-
the detective researching the Lamb situation.
With the
Lamb
dead bodies.
situation.
Not the lambs.
No, I'm sorry. Missing
The
bodies.
problem with the Carters. Yes.
Yes.
Who sent you? Were you
Field
did you
Marshal.
talk to the field marshal? Then I suspect that she's sent you to lighten up my caseload. Hopefully,
That's the plan.
be much appreciated, actually. And she like sets down the big stack of papers she was looking at and pulls out a different stack of papers. It's a little hard to track based on what we've seen so far, but as far as we can tell, it seems like some of the Carters are not returning with all of the bodies that they're supposed to. Some we suspect are just lazy, others we suspect are not as skilled at this work as you might expect, but the discrepancy in the number of dead reported and the number of bodies attended to by the cathedral is just it's too much of a discrepancy to ignore. Here, there's a couple of different sites, and she like unfurls a map of the city and points to a couple of spaces. Before I lie, where is this? Oh, I didn't think to put that to memory. Ah, okay. This one in particular has had the largest number of bodies missing. It's in the north. Where is it? Off of the Avenue of Arms. It's called Racker's Alley, she says. She points to a spot on the map. A little line here. That's text. Racker's Alley. There we go. It's over there. The far north side of the city. Near the wall between the mainland and Old Corvosa. There were a large number of affected bodies. Almost that entire block has seemingly perished, and almost none of them have turned up in the cathedral's records. And they're very, very meticulous about tracking who lives and who dies, so I would be surprised if this was some sort of clerical error. If you wouldn't mind investigating, I'd certainly appreciate it. I haven't had time to go out there myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're happy to take a look and maybe at least save you a little bit of time.
Thanks. That would be... Seriously, you guys don't know how much time you're saving in mine. If you do happen to find the bodies, if you could just have someone stay with them and perhaps contact the rest of the guard, they can... we can send somebody to come pick them up, but... I'm honestly just hoping that it's just an oversight. The poor souls are just rotting in an alley rather than... I couldn't even imagine what else one could do with such a thing, but it's not unheard of.
We will hope for the outcome where the Carter was unfortunately just overwhelmed by the work they had to do. Was it one Carter, or were a couple people covering this area?
Multiple people were... It's all been volunteer work, and fairly slapdash at that. There weren't any specific Carters assigned to specific roads, just multiple people assigned to different areas, many of which overlap. So they've got a few names that you could talk to, but and she hands you a list of names that she collected of various Carters.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I'd have to find out all of their addresses, and I haven't had time to do that kind of lookup yet.
Even this is a help. Thank you.
Yes. Anything else? Certainly, if you'd need any other of my notes, I'm glad to hand them over.
I'll take anything you have on this case.
Very
Yeah,
helpful.
she'll kind of
Yeah.
string up a binder of parchment and hand it to you. Just like her... it's like a couple... It's like she hasn't had that much time to look into it, so it's just a couple pages of like hastily scribbled notes that you could use as recall knowledge check to reference details about it.
Okay. We'll let you know what we find, and we'll call the guard if we happen to figure out what's going on.
Alright, well, yeah, let me know if you find anything. But
Will do.
good luck.
Thank you. And I think we'll head on over. Do we want to go to the alley now?
Unless someone else has another detour that we need to take, I think Felix is still reeling from the fact that we are now not going to be able to get over to Eel's End. At least the
yeah.
easy way.
Well, you can always swim.
I mean, we do have a boat.
We do have a boat, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
It's great news. Love boats.
Well, we've got a couple days still before the meeting, I think,
Mhm.
with of Vargo, so.
Indeed. Hopefully it won't come to that.
Now, I know that the Orsini Academy shut down. Do we know that they got out?
That
And
was
Carlo.
another thing I was worrying about. When we last left them, they were closing up the academy, but
Mhm.
I don't know if they managed to see this coming and to get the heck out of town.
Yeah, you've not heard anything from Carlo or his one student that hangs out there. Yeah, as far as you know, he's still there.
Well, we can get a look-see at the situation there after we check out the alley. Not in Old Corvosa, but perhaps find some.
There's
access
also
points.
the other major sort of players or like the actual major players in that part of the city are I'm blanking on the name of their noble house for some reason.
Arcona?
Yes, the Arconas. Yes,
Oh, it is the Arconas. Okay, I'm just going
yeah.
through my list of names.
the Arconas are very, very old money. They've been one of the big 5 major houses of Corvosa for a very long time. And if the lockdown is affecting all of Old Corvosa, they're definitely caught up in it.
I'm sure they'll be very
As well as the
unhappy.
Endrin Academy, which trains the Griffin flyers.
Oh.
Hippogriffs. They have hippogriffs. The Marines. There we go. The Sable Company Marines. I remember. Sorry, it's been a few weeks.
It's okay. Message only goes 500 feet. I cannot send him a message.
Who? Who were you
Van
messaging?
Carlo. I was wondering how I might get Van Carlo a message, and I do literally have message, but 500 feet is as far as it goes.
Yeah, there's a better spell called Sending. I don't know if it's still called Sending.
Good question.
And there's similar spells called like Dream Message, and a few others, but they're higher level. Oops.
Still called sending.
You know what sad fact I just learned?
What?
Apparently, talking corpse is only divine and occult, and not arcane. It's like, cannot learn talking corpse. That seems rude.
It's also uncommon.
I know. That's not the rude part. I could have searched this out for days and weeks, but now I have to trick it if I find it.
I mean, you can if you can manage a scroll of it, I'm happy to give it a shot.
Yeah. Just like, darn it.
They're also
Yes, it's
fourth
certainly a
level
thing
spells,
that Felix could cast from either scroll or wand.
Fine. Maybe we'll find one day, but it's a level 4. So
You
it's
can
a little
upcast.
moot.
You can cast scrolls and wands that you don't have the level requirement for.
Oh, okay.
You just can't. You just wouldn't be able to have them in your spell slots.
Can't learn it yet.
What's the point?
I think you can also technically learn spells before you have the level for them. They just don't. They just like sit in your available spell list.
Oh,
I don't know. That's a fair question. It sounds right.
like I can bring them back as not specific ones. I can summon undead, speak to my summon undead, but I cannot speak to a corpse that is dead. So
Well, because they're dead. It makes sense.
yeah, they're dead. They can't. They have to be undead
Mm-hmm.
for me to speak to them.
Well, you
So,
could summon
then
undead and hope that you get
The right
same...
one. Just like it's some like random person that's like, oh, is this you? No. Okay, I'm sorry. Well,
Dismiss.
goodbye.
Goodbye. Try again.
Sit there for like weeks straight. Every single slot is a summon undead until you maybe find one. It'll work. Don't
Um,
worry.
Okay. Anything else you want to do at the Citadel?
Nope.
Time to head to
Negative.
an alley.
Cracker's Alley.
All right. Well, our group departs the Citadel with knowledge of some strange disappearing corpses. And I think that's probably a good spot to end for the evening. Because I don't have that part prepped. So we'll do that
That's good.
next time on
Yes.
Third Action. Yeah. You solved Lavender without violence.
I tried so hard. I wanted to
So
get violent, but everybody else was
Oh,
like,
I did at
real
the end
good, and I was
there.
like, okay, we'll let them talk. That's why I was like, Tully's looking at everyone else for permission before he goes off, because everyone else wanted to talk.
I
then
was
we
I
gonna-
didn't.
out.
I had one thing I was gonna try, and if it didn't work,
But it worked. Great.
I was like
Well-
a little. I'm like, all right, I'll be diplomatic, and then she started being like, oh well, the dead are stupid, and I was like, I'm gonna kill her if we get violent, and then I'm gonna bring her back, and then I'm gonna laugh at her. It should be completely against everything. So we didn't
dark.
do that.
Well, we'll have to see the results of how justice has been dispensed, but for now, at least it's been non-violent. So tune in next week to see what our heroes learn or don't learn about the corpses that have gone missing in Racker's Alley. So you don't want to miss it. Come back, or I'll
Back.
kill you and resurrect
God.
you until you do come back. All right, now leave. You can leave now. Good night.
Believe him, he has unlimited spell slots.
I do. I'm the GM. All right, bye.